Hey there guys, welcome back to Anthony Reviews, where Anthony reviews. And I know it's been a little while since I've done a collection video. I think my last one I did was probably my Power Rangers retro figure collection vintage stuff. But if you've seen my channel, you've probably checked out some of my collection videos like Batman, Superman, Deathstroke. And a lot of people, when that Deathstroke video came out, a lot of people were asking, are you going to do a follow-up with Nightwing? Because, maybe not so much people nowadays, but it's a pretty traditional thing to consider Deathstroke a Nightwing or Dick Grayson villain. And I'm one of those people. I consider that to be the case. That is his arch nemesis in my eyes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a look at all of my Nightwing figures. So let's just go ahead and start it off. So the first figure here, and this is in no particular order, we have the DC Icons sort of Hush style Nightwing figure here. Now he's the Hush style because he has sort of the sleek design to him. He comes with his Eskrima sticks. He's got his floppy sort of Jim Lee style hair. This is a really good figure in my opinion. I like the black, I like the blue. His head is probably a little too big, but I like the amount of accessories he comes with. I like that he can look good displayed with his Eskrima sticks here. So I mean, there's that. So that's nice. Overall, a nice looking figure. So just look a bit. There we go. Okay. Alright. Next figure. Just sort of going at random here. We've got this big beefy boy. Now, this Nightwing, I'm not going to lie, I'm not the biggest fan of the McGuinness art style. You'll probably recognize this from the Batman Superman book, or Superman Batman book. It was adapted into the Public Enemies movie, so it's probably what you'll recognize it as. A lot of people tend to like this art style. It's not personally for me, but he is a Nightwing, so therefore he's got to go in the collection. I think he had Eskrima sticks at one point, but I think I honestly lost them. But, I mean, you'll see here, I've got a lot of Nightwings with their Eskrima sticks, so it's fine to have, at least one or two that don't have those. Let's go ahead and move on to the DC Direct Jim Lee style Nightwing figure. So this one is the one that came in, I believe, the 3-pack with Scarecrow and Harley Quinn. It was like a re-release that they did not too long ago, a couple years ago at this point. And this one is definitely a lot more closely sort of translated from the pages of Hush. A lot more like that Jim Lee art style. Overall, it's really good. I like the metallic blue on this one as opposed to the flat blue there. So this one looks good. He's a DC Direct figure, a bit of an older style, so you can't get him in a whole lot of varying poses, but he still looks good. You can get him in a good pose and sort of keep him that way. Sort of jumping ahead a bit, shall we? We have the DC Essentials Nightwing figure. Now, essentially with this line, this is the most recent line from DC Collectibles. They're meant to be articulated. They're based on the sort of Jason Fabok art style, and they look pretty good. I mean, the only major downside I have is that these Eskrima sticks are so tiny. What am I supposed to do with these? Like, look at this. It's a little ridiculous, but I like the lighter shade of blue. I like the attention to detail for the Rebirth design. I like the head sculpts and the hair there. I think that looks really good. I like the blue mask. It's just a little bit different. So not my favorite Nightwing, not even my favorite Nightwing design per se, but he does look different. He does stand out. And when you have a figure collection of a certain kind of character, you want some variation here and there, for sure. Because if you just have the same guy over and over again, it can get a little bit boring. Let's go ahead and go into something completely different. Let's check out the animated series Nightwing here, or New Adventures, more accurately. So this is the first appearance of this like bird look, which would then be adapted into the Rebirth one, which we just had. This is the mullet Nightwing. This is the one voiced by Lauren Lester in that original cartoon series. I like this version of Nightwing. Obviously, the design is very sleek, and he's got the big blue bird. My only problem with this figure, and it's really just all these figures, is their tiny feet. So he can be somewhat difficult to stand. So I think I'm going to try to just lean him up against Big Boy here and hope for the best, because I don't want to risk it. But he's a good figure. He's good. Let's see here. Let's go Mattel. shall we? So this is one of Mattel's very first sort of attempts at the 6-inch style, an action figure style, I guess, Nightwing. So this was part of pre-DC Superheroes, which is pre-DC Universe Classics, which is pre-Multiverse. So this is an interesting figure. He's very lean. He's got sort of the Zac Efron haircut here, and he's got these massive sort of batons, which is the exact opposite problem that Essentials has back there. But, I mean, he looks cool. I mean, it's one of those things where, because I collect so many different types of figures, I do like having things like DC Direct, where it's sort of sleek and nice and beautiful. But this looks like a toy. You know, this is so obviously from the early 2000s era that I like it for what it is. So I appreciate that aspect of it. Oh, no. He's back up. It's all good. He's fine. Another problem you'll notice with displaying Nightwing figures is that you got to make sure all their sticks are not like poking each other and causing issues. Yeah, that's fun. Let's kind of switch gears again. We've got here the Arkham City style Nightwing figure. Now this one, there's 2 releases of this figure. There's one that comes with more of like a metallic dark blue finish for the blue stripes here. This one came from a multi-pack that I believe featured, I'm going to blank on this one. I think it came with Robin, Batman, and the sort of DLC Harley Quinn that's like dressed in like funeral garb. Spoiler alert. But this Nightwing's okay. He's got the clips on the back so you can store his sticks. His face is a little weird looking. I'm not going to lie, especially considering how pretty boy Nightwing is supposed to be. Like, his hair's pretty on point, but his face is a little odd. But, I mean, this is a pretty good design. I think this is a pretty solid attempt at a realistic depiction of the sleek Nightwing outfit. And, I mean, they've got the finger stripes and everything, so, I mean, that's cool for what it is. It's not my favorite Nightwing, but I like it. Probably one of my favorite Nightwing figures is going to be the DC Universe Classics Nightwing. I like this figure a lot just because I feel like the blue is very proportionate. You'll notice on some of these, because of the way the articulation works or something like that, like the blues don't always line up, but the blue looks really good here. He's got like the pouches because this is sort of based on that earlier 90s version of the costume before it became like the Hush costume here. So I like that about it. It definitely feels like that era of Nightwing. I love the hair. I love the head sculpt and everything. Like, this may be one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Nightwing figure. I don't know. I'm very partial to the Mattel DC Universe Classics figure, so that really does help in that regard. But, like, I don't know. This guy is, oh my god. Don't you dare fall on me. Yeah, that guy's cool. Let's move back to the Arkham stuff. We've got the Arkham Knight Nightwing. So when Arkham Knight came around, they basically completely just like redesigned everybody, gave him the more like armored look to it. This Nightwing design is pretty fine. A lot of people have an issue with this mask, and I don't know, it's fine. It's obviously, it's not the Nightwing mask. Like when you think of the Nightwing mask, it's sort of like have little spikes that go up and spikes that go down. This one, it literally like goes all the way across his face. He's got a bit of like a 5 o'clock shadow, which is interesting. It's not very accurate, but whatever. He's got like belts and things down here. He's really, really like detailed, which is cool. His articulation, this is also when DC Collectibles really attempted to make the articulation, you know, try to make it comparable with other figures on this scale. And it's good. It's not great, but it's good. So I mean, there's that. It's not perfect, though. Don't fall down, please. Would have made more sense to put him on the other side, Anthony. Another Nightwing figure here. This is a pretty recent one. This is the Mattel Batman Missions Nightwing. This sort of feels like a combination of the Arkham Knight figure and then the Rebirth design, honestly, as one of his sticks just fell out. So this one opts for like a peg system as opposed to the clips, which is keeps falling out. Oh my goodness. You guys gotta give me a break. So yeah, I mean, it looks good for what it is. I like this Nightwing figure. It's cool. I mean, this is just sort of a basic $10 figure, so you're not going to get a whole lot of excitement out of it, I suppose, compared to other Nightwing figures. But it's undeniably Nightwing. But you can see he's got like the Rebirth style, like swooshes on the legs, but he's got the armored look of a more realistic take on him. But he's cool. I like that there's a Nightwing on shelves for kids to buy. That's a good thing, in my opinion. There should be Nightwing availability, for sure. Alright, we're coming up towards the end here, I know already. This is another more recent addition to the collection. This is the DC Multiverse Rebirth Nightwing figure. As you can see, I mentioned earlier, he's got like the leg detailing, and he's got the blue printing on the gloves. And the only problem I really have with this is I think the bird is just too big. Like, at this point, it's just the V. Like, give him the standard V like everyone else. Like, I can't really tell that that's supposed to be the Nightwing bird, sort of like animated series in the Essentials figure. Once again, we went with the blue mask, which is Rebirth accurate. His hair might be a little too blue. Like, they really went overboard with the highlight there. It almost looks like he just has blue hair. But, I mean, what are you going to do? I guess just sort of accept it for what it is. But I like it. It's a pretty solid Nightwing figure, in all honesty. So, good addition, everybody. Great job. Sure. We have some little Nightwing stuff here. We've got the Pop figure, one of the original Pop figures that came out. We also do have the Dorbs Nightwing based on his disco outfit. We also do have another disco Nightwing, which is the sort of retro action Nightwing here. He came in like a Teen Titans wave, which included everyone but Beast Boy for some reason. So I don't know exactly why that was. But he's here. And then we also have this guy. This guy who looks very Native American. This is a Nightwing. I think it was from the Legends of Batman series or Legends of the Dark Knight, but it's an old wave. As you can see, he's got like the old school sort of 90s stance with a big gun, and this is the only representation I have of this costume. So I'm glad that I have it, because this was a very brief costume. He's got like the super long hair, and he looks cool. This fires a missile. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to lose the missile, but here's this guy. He's pretty neat, honestly, and he stands out because he's different. And you gotta appreciate that, at least, The last figure I want to show off is this Nightwing right here. So this Nightwing figure was from the New Adventures line, as you can kind of tell from the similarities of this guy here. This was the first Nightwing figure I ever had. I don't know why he's got like this brown and black design. Like, that's a little weird looking. I don't really get it. But it was just the version of Nightwing that they had. So this is my childhood Nightwing. I still have it this whole time. I don't know exactly how I've been able to keep a hold of it, but I have. And, that's pretty great, I guess. But either way, guys, those are all of my Nightwing figures. Now, my girlfriend also collects Nightwing, and so she's a big Nightwing fan, but she has figures that are just not here yet, because she moved here 2 years ago, and they still haven't been shipped. But maybe someday they will be. But what's your guys' favorite Nightwing figure? Is it the Arkham Nightwing? Is it Essentials? Is it more recent, old, whatever? Maybe it's a figure that I don't even have here. It's certainly possible. But there you go, guys. I certainly hope you enjoyed the showcase of the Nightwing collection. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and Twitter @AnthonyLantern. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later.